I managed to hit 3 pans in this palette, and I used all of the other eyeshadows 3 times each. So I'm talking about my project level up palette. So I was working on Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, and my goal was to hit 3 pans and use all eyeshadows in here at least 3 times. If you are not familiar with Project Level Up, it's created by lovely Sophie Alexandra. So she created this project in order to use all eyeshadows in a palette. So the basic idea of this project is that you keep leveling up. For example, for level 1, you randomize a palette and then work on all eyeshadows in that palette. And the goal is to use all eyeshadows in that palette at least once and hit 1 pan. And then you level up to level 2. Then you need to use all eyeshadows in that palette 2 times each and hit 2 pans. And it keeps going up to level 5. You can try to go up to level 6, 7, or you can just reset it back to level 1. So far, I've only seen one person who's going to be leveling up to level 6, and that is Kezia. Her channel is Panning with Kezia. Before we get started, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Rafneet, and I make a lot of panning videos. And let's go over how this palette has been looking like for past few months. So when I rolled this palette in, it had 5 pans in it. I started working on this palette to get 3 new pans, which I did. So last month I had hit pan on 2 eyeshadows, and then I was only left to hit pan on the shade called Big Wig. That's what I was focusing to get the pan on. And then for shade Wigglies, Zam, Sponsored Edges, and Ginger, I needed to use them at least 3 times, which I think I had not done that last month. So I hit my 3 uses goal on all the remaining eyeshadows, and this is how it's looking like today. So as you can see, we hit pan on Big Wig. So as of last update, I had a total of 5 uses on this eyeshadow in this project, and then I used it 2 more times to get the pan, and then I used it again for a total of 3 times since last update just to expand the pan. And I am so pleased to see that we now have pan on 8 eyeshadows in this palette. It is looking so different, and I'm so happy about how it's been looking like. It wasn't my intention or anything, but we hit pan on 3 consecutive eyeshadows. Like all 3 of them are next to each other, which is very interesting. So this palette is rolling out, and we'll be rolling in a new palette for level 4. For that, we would have to hit 4 pans and use all eyeshadows at least 4 times each, which is going to be a lot. Honestly, I'm really nervous about level 4. But yeah, I hit this pan very early on after filming my last update, but I held off from filming this update. I just wanted to wait for June simply because I wanted to focus on my eyeshadows in Pando's palettes and the eyeshadows that I have in Pando's eyeshadows. This is one of my favorite palettes, of course. I love it, and it brings me so much joy to see that I have actually used it a lot. I've given it attention that it deserves. But saying that, we are super close on hitting pan on this eyeshadow called Supreme. Sorry, not Supreme. Supreme is this one. This is Pinker. And this eyeshadow was also in my Pando's eyeshadows last year, and I did not hit pan on this one because it got rolled out in finale. So yeah, I would love to come back to this palette at some point and hit these 2 pans at least. But yeah, that is what we have for Jackie Aina palette, and I'll go over a few of the looks that I did using this palette. I don't think I created any interesting looks last month, but I will put up whatever I have. All right, it's time to roll in level 4 palette. I am super nervous about it because it's going to be a lot. I have to finish my eyeshadows in Pando's palettes, and then I have my Pando's eyeshadows project. So yeah, hitting 4 pans is definitely going to be challenging. I'm hoping I get something that I really love. So this is the list of all the eyeshadows that, not the eyeshadows, the eyeshadow palettes that I want to roll in. So I removed the ones that I have in my Pando's palettes because I'm working on 4 eyeshadow palettes in that project. And I also removed my Revolution X Demi palette simply because all of the eyeshadows in that palette have pan except one. That palette would not be eligible for level 4 palette either way. So let's hope and see what we get. Am I ready to hit pan on Stoned Vibes palette? Did I just work on that palette this year? I don't quite remember. I don't know if I should go for Stoned Vibes palette. Should I roll another palette and then decide between those two? I think I should do that. I don't know if I'm cheating, but the thing is that I worked on this palette recently, and there are some of my palettes that I have not touched at all this year. So I was hoping that maybe one of those would get rolled in. So let's see. Should I go for it? Or should I handpick my level 4 palette? I don't know. Because this, again, I rolled in a bunch of shades from this palette in my Pando's eyeshadows. Am I just re-rolling at this point, or do I really want to handpick a palette? I don't know. Baby Yoda palette. Okay, I'm just rolling palettes at this point. I think I'm going to stick with the first option that we had. So yeah, I'll be rolling in my Stoned Vibes palette. I do love that palette though, but I was hoping I could get something else to work on, like one of my BH Cosmetics 9-pan palettes, but it is what it is. I rolled 2 more palettes afterwards, and then I didn't get my BH Cosmetics palette, so anyway, I'm gonna bring my Stoned Vibes palette over and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so I am back with Stoned Vibes palette. Looking at this palette brings me so much joy. I do love this palette. I have already been working on one eyeshadow in here in my Pando's eyeshadows project, and that eyeshadow is called Antidote. That's what Antidote looks like, and this is how this palette is looking like overall. So yeah, I have a few pans on the eyeshadows already, and then I just need to use these eyeshadows 4 times each, which I don't think I would have any problem at all because these are all shimmer eyeshadows and I can definitely use some shimmer eyeshadows, as I mostly have matte eyeshadows left in my Pando's palettes. So yeah, this is what this palette is looking like. I have pan on this eyeshadow called Jade, Vibes, and Meditate. This eyeshadow is already in my Pando's eyeshadows, so if I hit pan on this one, that would not count towards this project. So I need to focus on other eyeshadows in here. I think I would want to focus on mattes, definitely, because mattes in this palette are ignored by me. I don't reach for them simply because shimmers are so stunning and mattes are just basic. So my goal would be to hit 3 pans on all 3 of the mattes. I might sound crazy, I might be, but I'm going to go for it. Even though there's not a lot of uses on these 3 mattes, I still want to focus on them because elsewise I would keep ignoring them. You can see I have huge tips on the shimmers, but I don't have any usage on matte eyeshadows except this one. But yeah, it's just like few uses, not a lot. So yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I would want to hit pan on maybe 1 shimmer eyeshadow in here because that would be my 4th pan. So yeah, that is my level 4 palette, I might be able to hit 1 pan by next update, because you can see there are huge dips on both these eyeshadows, in Opal Aura and in Tiger's Eye. So as Raw Energy has a nice dip going on as well. If I wanted to make it easier for me, I would have probably picked these 3 eyeshadows to hit pan on at least. I would have picked like another shimmer, but I do need to keep myself in check and need to work on these 3 ignored mattes as well, because I think they would pair well with other eyeshadows. These are everyday shades for me. I'm saying everyday just because I think I can pair them with my other eyeshadows. So yeah, that's what we are starting with for our level 4 palette. And that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video, wherever in the world you are. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.